All right, guys. So today I'm going to talk about based decisions on knowledge and data. All right. In any moment of a decision, the best thing you could do is the right thing. The next best thing will be the wrong thing. And the worst thing you could do is nothing. All right. So when you guys think about that, I could relate it to leadership. Sometimes we are thinking about a move and a scenario that is probably picking in your head, and a lot of times what a lot of beginners as leaders do, they don't do nothing. They think about it and they think about it and they think about it, but they definitely do not do nothing. The best thing that you could do is something, and it'll be the right thing. But if not, the next best thing will be the wrong thing. The next best thing will be actually the right thing we'll be doing is to call the individual, right? The wrong thing to do is to text the individual. The worst thing you could do is just think about it and do nothing. And I see this with a lot of leaders where they're just procrastinating on doing the action move. A lot of leaders are smart. That's why you're at where you're at. And they know the problem, but they just don't do nothing about it. Okay? Decision making is an essential part of leadership. A lot of people, blame it. A lot of people want it. A lot of people, when they make decisions, they're really trying to make a mark on their leadership. It's exciting because decision making really dictates your preparation, and decision making is the key essential of leadership. Because without decision making, you're really not molding on who you are or how prepared you are. So when you're looking at decision making, you're basically going on knowledge and data, because people will forgive leaders that try their best when they base it on knowledge and data, on maybe what happened before. If they consulted with an expert, do they analyze current events? Do they consult with experts? And do they anticipate the problem before it happens? A lot of times we think about a scenario, we're thinking about all the things that may occur, all the bad things, all the good things, and you're just stuck. You're in frozen mode. And then what happens, from my experience, I kind of freeze up and I'm like, what do I do next? And I just forget about it. So I try to hide away from the problem by just forgetting that it's a problem, because no one's stating it's a problem. The only person that knows it's a problem is myself. So what do a lot of people like myself do? They just freeze. They tend to forget about it. And they try to move on to something that's good news. Something that sounds good. Something that's good that's happening in the business. My guy high rolling, or he's getting promoted. But I know my leaders don't know the 5-day checklist. I know my leader, Johnny Ballgame, doesn't know the 5-day checklist. I'm thinking what to do. Should I run the call? Should I tell him? But what happens is that a lot of us, including myself, we freeze and we're like, all right, but he did 2 today. So he's good. His guy performed 1 today. We got to make that action. And the action is deciding to set up a call to prep your team about a 5-day checklist. And the next, maybe you're wrong. Maybe he does know the 5-day checklist, but at least you did it. But the worst thing that you can do is do nothing and just say, hey, well, he did 2 today, so, he's good. His guy did it. Or another scenario is that the guy or gal is high rolling, doing great. They're high rolling. They're speaking on the calls, but you see their paycheck because everybody gets a pay stub. Everybody knows your paycheck, and you know the guy or gal paycheck, and it's low, but they're a high roller. They're doing 2s, they're doing 3s, but deep down inside, something's broken. But you don't want to ruin their mojo. You're excited. They're doing 2s, they're doing 3s. Your team is doing 30, their team is doing 40, but the paychecks isn't matching up. The wrong thing to do is talk to them about sales more. But the worst thing that you could do is nothing. If you're asking why is my team not growing, or I'm not where I want to be, because we got to take everything on these calls seriously. I could tell you, I did my mistakes, and that's why I take everything seriously. That's why I moved my guys to different states, and I still make the wrong decisions now. But I feel and I believe that I'm making less wrong decisions, and I'm taking more actions. And my actions are coming in faster. My efficiency, my decision making is most of the time right. So, my advice for you guys is that try to wake up a little bit earlier. Try to do a little walk or something. Walk or something. Drink some coffee. Drink a bang. So we're energized in the morning. Because when these things happen and you ask yourself, golly, my whole team quit on me, you're going to probably think about the calls and be like, man, that's what I should have done. I should have done better decision making. You should base your decisions on knowledge and data.